Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Yorkshire Media 1. I am Mark, your host, your presenter, whatever you want me to be. Yes, I am cheaper and better than the BBC. I bring you exciting. So, this is film review for Thursday. Right, Thursday's film review. So, what film am I reviewing? Well, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's The World's Fastest Indian. And the story, it is a bit of a, well, it is a true story of Burt Munro. And the film opens up, Anthony, the legend what Anthony Hopkins is, he's done the film. And he played a part of Burt Munro. And Burt Munro, the film starts basically, with him, it shows you going into his workshop, him tinkering about. And it says, all the offerings to the gods of speed and things like that. And so it's going to be something special. And it's very entertaining and it's an uplifting film as well. And Burt wheels his, he's got his bike out and wheels it out and, starts it up early on the morning and starts it up and, he's perfecting it basically. And that, and it shows you, before the film gets really going, it shows you Burt test running it on the beach, and then the film starts where the young lad comes into Burt. Burt makes cups of tea and things like that, and as a biscuit, ginger nut biscuits and stuff like that. He's a New Zealander, and he's perfecting the bike. He makes he forges his own pistons and things like that, and he's making his old bike, the old Indian chief, into a speed machine because he wants to try and break a record so he can have the fastest Indian. He wants to break 200 miles an hour on his old Indian chief motorcycle, and that's where it all starts. And then so you got a young lad and things like that, and his next door neighbour, Burt Munro's next, keeps saying, "Oh, cut your grass, it's letting the neighbourhood down," and things like that, and he doesn't listen. And then what happens? Oh yeah, and then the lad, he asks the lad, "Has your mum got a carving knife?" So so he gets a sharp carving knife and sharpens it up and cuts the tyre, makes it bald, so it's better. And then he has a birthday party, which he doesn't know about. He asks a woman out, she goes with him, and he has a birthday party, and he's up celebrating, and a biker gang comes, and taking Mickey basically, and Burt, like, instead of shutting up, he says, "Why don't you put up, and let's have a race. We'll see if my Indian bike is faster than yours." And that's what he does. He races on the sand with these young kids, and he has to be pushed to get going, and he gets the bike going, and down the sand he goes, and he flies past them. Basically, he does fly past them, but when he tries to turn the bike, he falls off basically, and they say loser, and around it goes. But Burt is aiming to get going, wanting to get to Bonneville Salt Flats for Speed Week, and that's what he's hoping to do, and that's what he does do. I mean, he has what they call an heart attack or angina attack and things like that. He goes to hospital, he gets told by a doctor, a female doctor, "Your motorcycle days are over." He says, "No, they're not." So he continues, and the film is how it's portrayed, this film, and how it's done. It's portrayed his adventure from getting to New Zealand into there, to America basically, and that's the adventure. I mean, when he does go, he goes, and he's got his girlfriend or whatever, woman who he has sex with and things like that, and goes, and she's saying, she's going to go with him to docks and take his car back home for him and things like that. And then these young motorcycle, where he's pulled up, come and knock on his window, wind your window down, and give him money for being money for beers, mate, and good luck. And they literally ride him to the docks, motorbikes in front and behind him and ride him out. And it's it's respect is that the the younger generation respecting to what he's doing, and that's a good thing. But his exploits have been made popular because he's had a story wrote in Popular Mechanics. Everyone's heard of Burt Munro. So he gets on board a ship, gets his bike done, and then he says, I want to see you, Captain, because I have to do a job. Oh, can you cook? So he becomes cook on that ship, and he cooks and that, telling you not to smoke because it's bad for you, things like that. But he's making friends, basically, on the way as well. He gets into America, he goes through customs and that, and he makes friends, as he goes up, he gets in a taxi, gets a shock, he goes to Hollywood, he stays in a weird hotel, which it is weird, but it's very good, and Bert being Bert is very polite as well, and he asks what he thinks is a woman, where can he get a car from, where can he do it, and she helps him basically. She does help him, but she does tell him, she buys him breakfast and she tells him, I'm not a girl, I am a boy. And Bert says, well, I thought so, but you're still a pretty woman. And he's so polite and so he's got a friend there. And then she shows him where he can buy a cheap car. He buys a cheap car, he gets it running properly, builds a trailer, picks up his Indian motorcycle, crate's smashed to bits, but the bike's okay. It hasn't sustained any damage. And on his way, he leaves Hollywood on his way to Utah to go to the Bonneville salt flats. And on the way, obviously things do go wrong. His trailer wheel comes off and he loses its trailer back at car. And, it ditches the bike. Luckily, there's not much damage to his motorbike. It's just his trailer. An Indian helps him, but they can't help him to fix his trailer because they don't have the equipment, unfortunately. But the Indian does give him a necklace for luck and some powder for his prostate and things like that. And he goes, oh, thank you. And on the way he goes, and then he comes across another place, and he knocks on the door. He's knocking on the door for a while, and she, this woman answers, and he explains what he's wanting to mend his trail and things like that. And she says, yeah, no problem. She gets him another wheel and things. Then she shows him her late husband's grave. I don't know why she does this, but she does. And then she says, where are you sleeping tonight? He says, I don't know. So he goes back to her family. He's sleeping with her, basically, and that's what he does. And then he has to go to, Bonneville. He pulls in to a place where he's getting fuel, and a young lad, I think he's from Air Force, asking for a lift. He says, I'm trying to get to Salt, Salt Lake City and things like that. He tells him where he's going, and he says, well, it's better than nothing. He says, yeah, it is, welcome up in. So he's got him on a journey and that. And then he gets into Utah, and the young lad wants to see the Bonneville Flats, so he shows him where to go and that. Turn left, and they get onto Bonneville Salt Flats, and that's it. That's where he says he was always going to do something special. And young lad listening, he takes the young lad back, and he gets a lift somewhere else. But the key points to this is it's the adventure, how he got there, and he does get there. And then the other hurdle he's got to cross is when he registers, and they says, yeah, got a registration number and things. So there's a big eye going, is he going to be able to run? Because he hasn't registered it, he should have registered months ago. And he said, well, I didn't know, which he didn't. And he says, I wasn't told this. So, with a bit of oohing and ahhing, they say, well, we'll do a speed angling check. Bike won't pass scrutineering, so his bike won't press scrutineering, but he's he does a bike angling check, and they officially allow him to run and time his bike, and he's overwhelmed by it. But he tells his friends who are motorcycle fans, he says, I've got another problem. And he says, I need some batteries, about 20 car batteries will do it, which he does. And tells them why he's going to put it in front of on bike, make it more stable and things like that. He does that, and they said, well, how are you going to test run it? He says, on road where there's no speed limit. So that's what he does. And he does it, and then there's a cop saying, you've got to be careful and all this. And other people who are following him thinking, well, how's he going to get away with this? But he does get away with it because of his politeness and things like that. And he listens to the police officer, says, yeah, okay, I won't do it again. And then he's driving back, and they say, so what are you going to do? I'm going to have to give elbow to lead and run it how it should be run originally. He says, how are you going to get over speed wobble? Because you got a speed wobble on that angling run. Front wheel started wobbling. It's what we speed wobble. He says, oh, I'll come to that when I cross it. When he gets to do his run, and he does, he gets in bike, he takes off his protective thing because he can't get in properly. But he gets in, takes all that off, and he gets in, and then he does this, they push him off to do the speed run, and off he goes. And he goes through every, he's getting faster and faster, and then he gets the speed wobble, and then you see him raise his head. Goggles fly off, obviously, but he keeps his eyes shut, and he raises his head. That calms the bike down. That stops the speed wobble. He puts his head back down and winds it on fully. When he goes through the 8 mile last timed section, he's doing 201 8.95 seconds. So he's doing over 200 mile an hour. Obviously he doesn't know. He slows the bike, bike wobbles again, and he crashes it. But he says to himself while he's laid on his back, he knows he's burnt his leg. He says, I've done it, and that was it. And he rings the lad in New Zealand to tell him that he's got the fastest Indian. And by the way, Burt Munro is a genius. He really is. He's a character, an old man who wants to do speed. He never gave up on that dream. And that record in 1967, what he set, still stands today for basically a streamlined motorcycle. The record still stands, and that's it. And they couldn't have picked a better man to play Burt Munro, Anthony Hopkins. Really good film. I'm really glad that I watched it tonight and I've done it. So it's called The Fastest Indian. It might not look much of a film, but it is. All my life I wanted to do something big, and he did. He did something big. It's bone shaking, excitement. It's wonderfully uplifting and charming, which it is. It's a success story. It's a true life story of Burt Munro. And like I said, that record still stands today for, well, there's the motorbike. For The Fastest Indian. There's the streamlined motorbike. Very well done. It's a great film. I think he went back 9 times, setting numerous records as well. So he went back 9 times. Yeah, really well done. So congratulations to him. He really did really well. And it's one of those films. I saw part of it, and I didn't, because I jumped in near back end of the film. I saw it on Sky, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to try and find it. I found this on Amazon for £2. It cost me $1.99 at the time, so I bought it for that, and I'm glad I really did, because it's a really good film. It really. Anthony Hopkins has starred in it. They've got a legend. It's one of his better roles. I think that his performance in that film is a great performance. I think it was absolutely wonderful. Not taken away from him at all, but they got a legend on the big screen to play Burt Munro. Really good. I enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed me trying to review this film, which I have. This is a film review, and what everyone is wanting to know is, would I watch it again? Yes, I would. I could watch it again and again and again, and I will watch it again, because when you first see a film for the first time, you don't take it all in. You're taking the main bits, what you know, you're excited to watch it, and you do watch it. But when you repeat it, when you watch them for a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth, you see things what you haven't seen before. And that is true with this film as well. Really good film. I really enjoyed it. So, if you've liked this, please give me a like. So please, thumbs up. Please give me a like. Please subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell icon. It all that will let you know when I'm putting up uploading another video. Please consider subscribing. Also, come back from time to time to make sure that you still subscribe, because YouTube algorithm has a nasty habit of unsubscribing people. And also, please share the video to your friends and your family, and to other social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and use the comment section below. We can have a conversation, we can talk, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now. Catch you all later.